Welcome to the Quantum Human, a space where imagination and calm join hands. Each story is a gentle passage into sleep. Tonight, we walk together through the forest of light, a place where trees breathe in colors and every path shines with your own rhythm. In the cool hush of night, you arrive at the edge of a forest that seems to breathe with light. Leaves shimmer like quiet constellations nestled in branches, and each step you take along the soil-soft path answers with a gentle glow. The air is mild and fragrant, a slow tide of earth and distant rain. You stand still, and the colors wait with you, patient, listening. As your shoulders loosen, a small wave of light passes over the moss, pale green becoming blue, then violet, then a tender gold that lingers near your ankles. Far above, the canopy opens in long windows, where the night sky is a velvet ocean. Stars observe, unhurried, offering their quiet permission to rest. You begin to walk, heel to toe, as if tracing a melody. The path knows you. It brightens softly, a luminous thread that moves at your pace. Your thoughts smooth out, one by one, like stones laid into a calm riverbed. Every tree here is a kind companion. Their trunks are dark rivers, and on their bark, tiny beads of light gather and drift, drifting as if remembering a story they have told for centuries. You place your hand against one trunk. Feel the cool texture, the quiet strength. The glow climbs your palm, not as fire, but as the warmth of being welcomed. The forest recognizes the rhythm of your heart and answers in color. Ahead, a bend in the trail and a curtain of bioluminescent ferns. Their fronds lift and settle with the breath of the night. With each exhale, their edges pulse teal. With each gentle inhale, they soften into rose. The forest mirrors you, and you mirror the forest. An easy exchange, a shared tempo. A soft wind wanders through, laying silver across the understory. You listen to its quiet threading through leaves, the faintest hush, the suggestion of faraway water. Somewhere, an unseen creature steps lightly, careful not to disturb the luminous dust that rests on the path. You keep walking, and the ground becomes a mosaic of light, little galaxies pooled in shallow footprints of time. The more you notice, the slower everything moves. The world widens, not by distance, but by gentleness. A slender bridge appears, grown from roots braided together over ages. Beneath it, a stream slides like liquid obsidian, flecks of light drifting on its surface like patient fireflies. You pause at the center of the bridge, leaning on the root rail. The stream holds your reflection, not exact, but true, more feeling than image. In that reflection, your edges blur, and what remains is a soft presence, a traveler without urgency, a being of evening and listening. You realize that the forest asks nothing of you except to arrive and to rest. From the far bank, a cluster of tree bulbs brighten, inviting you onward. Their light is the color of hush, of pages turning slowly, of voices lowered to a hum. You follow, and the bridge ends, and the path expands into a clearing shaped like a deep breath. The sky here seems lower, closer, as if leaning in. At the center of the clearing, a stone rises like a quiet moon. Its surface is veined with pale lines that glow, forming pathways that wind toward one another and meet and rest. You sit beside it, feeling the ground welcome your weight, feeling the night welcome your silence. A long exhale, and the leaves answer, shifting to a warmer gold, a long inhale, and the ferns cool to blue. Your calm spreads like light through water, slow, certain, inevitable. Stay here as long as you wish. The forest will keep your place and keep its gentle watch until you rise and drift onward, deeper into its luminous heart. When you stand again, the clearing has widened into a corridor of soft lamps. Trees bow slightly, offering a passage that flows like thought. The ground hums in a tone you feel more than hear, a kindness without words. With each step, color blooms beneath your feet, not to dazzle, only to guide. Your inner weather clears, clouds parting quietly, and through those spaces, stars place their patient hands upon your shoulders, easing them down, easing them open. The path begins to climb, hardly at all, just enough to lift your gaze. Ahead, a hill shaped like a calm question. At its crest, a grove glows from within, their branches threaded with filaments like slow lightning. You move toward it, the world answering in small, bright syllables. Inside the grove, sounds fold into a soft choir, the hush of needles, the distant lace of water over stone. Your heart beats steady and low. The trees here speak in color, and their language is simple. They say, you may rest, you may release, you may become lighter than your own name. Your thoughts drift like lanterns on an evening river, each one loosening its knot, sliding away. The grove senses this and dims around the edges, a privacy that arrives without effort. You notice now that the leaves are listening too, tilting to the music of your breath. With each exhale, the path cools to indigo. With each inhale, it warms to amber. Your steps and the light, weaving a slow tapestry together. A gentle archway of intertwined branches appears. As you pass beneath, silver pollen lifts into the air, settling over you like a quiet snowfall. It carries the scent of cedar and rain on stone. It reminds the skin that it belongs, that it can soften, that it can sleep. Beyond the arch, you find a pool, shallow and wide. The surface is a mirror woven from night, but not flat. Its reflections breathe. The stars above turn to bright seeds, floating just below the water, and your presence stirs them, arranging constellations in slow spirals. You kneel, and the pool brightens, your outline dissolving into contours of light. You are not separate from this place. You are a page the forest is reading, gently, line by luminous line. A breeze travels across the pool, and the seeds drift, gathering into a soft current that moves toward a narrow channel. Water hums, stones answer, leaves lean in to watch. The channel beckons like a lullaby you once knew, inviting, familiar, kinder each time you hear it. You rise and follow the channel, the ground cushioned with moss that clouds your steps, trees thin. The sky opens, and ahead there is a ridge, the suggestion of a wide valley beyond. At the ridge, you pause. The valley is a quilt of light, small constellations in the grass, stellar threads braided through roots and flowers. Here the forest is vast, but never empty. It is full of resting, full of permission, full of evenings that take your weight and hold it tenderly. You lie back on the gentle slope, and the hillside receives you. The lights around you dim and brighten, following the tide of your breath. You feel the earth, old and unhurried, turning beneath everything. You feel your own edges soften, like dusk arriving to a familiar street. Time thins to a ribbon, and then to silk, and then to a single quiet note that lingers and does not need to end. The valley waits with you, not counting, not measuring, only keeping company in the language of small lights. When you sit again, the ridge glows with a path that has appeared, a slow curve downward, inviting you toward the deepest heart of the forest. You stand and you go, as gently as a leaf crossing air. The descent is effortless, the path a river of pale gold. Behind you, the valley hums like a memory you can keep without holding. Ahead, a hush grows warmer, and in that hush, the colors begin to gather. First, they draw close to your steps. Then, they lift, little embers rising from leaves and bark, drifting upward, finding one another in the open air. The forest has chosen this place for you, a long glade where branches part like curtains, and the sky is a dark lake. You pause, and the lights continue to rise, like breaths becoming visible, like thoughts remembering how to rest. Slowly, the rising becomes a stream, a careful overflow of radiance. The lights gather into a band across the sky, bending, widening, their edges soft as silk. You watch as the band brightens, and you understand. The forest is teaching the stars how to flow. Leaves loosen their glow into the air. Moss gives up its tiny galaxies. The trunks exhale their hidden embers. Every particle of light becomes a drop in a gentle current, and the current becomes a river, a celestial river drifting above the treetops, unhurried, inevitable, kind. You step into the glade's center and breathe. The river of stars answers, leaning its slow brightness toward you. Its surface is made of moments that never ask for more than this: presence, ease, a widening quiet. Your thoughts are pebbles settling at the bottom of a deep pool. The current carries what you do not need. The light keeps what is simple, what is soft, what is already home. You lie down, and the earth lifts slightly to meet you. The cool scent of the night is close. The river of stars drifts directly overhead. It is so near that you feel its glow on your eyelids, a warmth behind the eyes, a gentle closing of doors. The edges of the forest blur until there is only the river and your breath and the small places where they meet. Each inhale gathers a little starlight. Each exhale lays it down like a blanket over a sleeping field. The river slows and sweetens and becomes almost still. You can hear the space between sounds. You can feel the pause between thoughts. In this pause, you understand that the forest has been walking with you, not ahead, not behind, but beside, whispering in light, that rest is not a door to force, but a meadow that arrives when the path becomes quiet. The stars drift lower, not to wake you, but to keep watch. Their light gathers at the corners of your vision, then dims, as gentle as eyelids closing. The celestial river folds itself into a soft ribbon and tucks into the branches. The grove becomes a cradle. The night becomes a hand. If you wish, let sleep take you now. The forest will remember your name and color and carry it softly until morning, or until whatever morning you choose. You float a little, or perhaps the earth rises a little. It does not matter. There is only the quiet and the feeling of being held and the certainty that light knows the way, even in the deepest dark. Rest now. All is gentle. All is listening. All is light becoming sleep. This was the Quantum Human, wishing you a peaceful night and dreams filled with calm. Good night.